This build makes this gun 10 times better. Centrifuse. First, let's go over the exotic perk. Overcharge Capacitor. Sprinting, sliding, and firing this weapon builds a temporary electrostatic charge, increasing range and reload speed. Final blows with high charge cause explosions, and maximum charge explosions blind targets. Now another interesting perk, Regenerative Motion. Sprinting gradually reloads this weapon. Now to where this weapon gets good, the Catalyst. While amplified, this weapon gradually gains overcharge. The main issue I had with this weapon without the Catalyst is, say if I was running around trying to build up the charge, I felt like I was running too much before a fight and getting myself killed. I would typically run or slide at corners I normally wouldn't just to try to build up that charge. But while amplified, as you can see, we could do nothing and the charge will build. Now this means if I'm running and I stop, it will stay at max charge. Now, what's a good way to become amplified a lot? Getaway Artist. Convert your arc grenade into an arc soul and become amplified. The arc soul functions as an autonomous turret. All this means is if you hold down your grenade button, it uses your charge, and as you can see, we're amplified. Now you may be thinking that alone isn't too great, but we have some things that can help. Firstly, let's take a look at the subclass. We'll be using flashbang grenades as this has the lowest cooldown of them all, meaning we can eat our grenade the most. Now let's look at this aspect. Electrostatic Mind. Defeating targets with arc abilities or defeating jolted or blinded targets creates an ionic trace. Considering we won't be killing many people with an arc ability, let's look at the second part of this perk. Defeating jolted or blinded targets creates an ionic trace. With this weapon, we can heavily abuse this perk. Let's not forget the perk says final blows with high charge cause explosions and maximum charge explosions blind targets. So not only killing people with max charge, but we can look at the seasonal artifact, Shock and Awe. Arc final blows while you're amplified summon a burst of lightning that damages and jolts targets. So considering we'll always be amplified, our arc final blows, aka the auto, would not only be blinding the target, but also jolting them. Now for the last part of the aspect, collecting an ionic trace makes you amplified. So let's think about this. We'll be using our nade to become amplified, making sure we have max charge, kill a target, and have a chance at an ionic trace, which will increase our amplified timer. Now you may be wondering, the blind and jolted targets will only be as if they're too nearby. But using the spark of discharge fragment, arc weapon final blows have a chance to create an ionic trace. So all we need to do is kill one person, get an ionic trace, become amplified, and keep that going. Now the start of the whole rotation starts with the nade. So obviously it's very important we spec into this grenade. How could we do that? Firstly, and the most obvious, 100 discipline. This will give you the fastest charge time for your grenades. Now a little less obvious, we can use double grenade kickstart on our gauntlets. And what this does is, when your grenade energy is fully expended, you gain grenade energy. So literally all we need to do is activate our grenade and we get a decent little chunk of our grenade. Now you may be seeing right now, why is it charging so fast? There's another little secret in the artifact. Lightning strikes twice. After throwing an arc grenade, gain increased grenade recharge for a short time. Arc final blows extend the duration of this benefit. So I guess in the game's coding, eating a grenade also counts as throwing it. So as you can see, we get the stat boost. I use this with triple bomber, so anytime I pop my rift, I get a good chunk of my grenade. So let me show you here, eating my grenade and popping a rift, about how much energy you can get of your nade. You get about 50% for just 1 eating a grenade and then 2 popping a rift. Our grenade's supposed to charge in 45 seconds, so us getting half of it takes off about 22 seconds. Another added benefit is while amplified, you get this speed boost, meaning you can run across the map very fast. So let's think about this build for a sec. An arc soul, insane speed, and an auto that can kill multiple people at once. What would make a build like this better? Electric armor. Gain damage resistance while amplified. So that whole time you're eating your nade running around, you will have damage resistance. Now let's also use amped up. Stay amplified longer while your arc subclass is equipped. This gives you 20 seconds in order to run around with damage resistance while having a arc buddy to kill one person and get an ionic trace to bump your timer back up to 20 seconds. I'll first show you guys the explosion from the exotic standalone, and then after I'll include the shock and all perk. As you can see, it does make it bigger, and also I easily made an ionic trace to increase my timer. So I could easily run across the map, making myself amplified each and every time, and I could literally run across the map while amplified the whole time. The whole time, I'm at max charge, having a damage resist, and going to be exploding every single opponent I kill. Quick recap of the build. Pop your nade to not only get an arc soul that will always team shot with you, but become amplified, which comes with perks like damage resistance, arc final blows, summoning a burst of lightning that damages and jolts targets, gradual gain of overcharge on the Centrifuse Centrifuse and the speed boost perk in order to run faster, slide further, and jump higher. Now when you kill somebody with the Centrifuse, they will firstly explode 2 different ways. They may create an ionic trace which will increase your amplified timer, and you can simply run away to reload onto your next target. In the first game I have the catalyst, and the second I don't. So you can see without it you can still do really good, but again the catalyst makes this thing a monster. That's all for the build, and I hope you guys enjoy the gameplay.
push and victory is yours. You've taken everything. No one in that arena